Hi everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. In today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how I make my egusi soup. This is an updated video, so I have a little bit of stuffs in here that are different from my previous egusi soup. I have here garlic and ginger that has been crushed together. I have in this bowl fresh tomatoes, onion, hot chili pepper, and I also have some sweet peppers. I'm going to be using egusi. This is the main ingredient for our soup. This is egusi. It can also be called melon seed. This is Cameroon Egusi, the special egusi that gives a clot in your egusi soup. And behind my sink, I've also chopped up my spring onion. So it's ready. And I'm going to be using this vegetable for my egusi soup. This is kale. You can go in with traditional akomobong, but I wanted something fresh because the akomobong I have home is dried. I wanted something fresh, and kale is kind of like the best option for this. So this is what we're going to be using. I also have in my pot some meat that I've been boiling, getting ready for my egusi soup. I'm going to be using cowfoot and lamb ribs. So this has been boiled in my pot. When I was boiling this, I added in salt, maggi, pepper, garlic and ginger, and as well some blended onion. So this has boiled nicely and is getting ready for us to start with our egusi soup preparation. So while this is still on the fire, I'm going to get ready with the preparation of our other ingredients. Kale is a very tough vegetable. It needs to be softened before it can be used. If you use kale directly, it's going to be so hard in your mouth. So what I normally do is I soften it up with sodium bicarbonate. So this is hot water. I'm just transferring my kale vegetable directly into the hot water, and I'm going to add in some sodium bicarbonate in there to soften it as well. I think I've gone through this procedure before in a previous video, but I'm still going to go through it again for those who are watching this for the first time. So this is a way you can soften your kale before cooking. I'm using bicarbonate of soda. This is also called baking soda, sodium bicarbonate, whatever way you want to call it. I'm sprinkling a little bit of it in my pot, and I'm going to let this be in the pot for a few minutes and then drain it. It is then ready for using. So kale, as I said, is very tough. After you put in your sodium bicarbonate, you can feel it and see that it's getting a bit soft, and that is what we want. We don't want it so tough in the mouth. By the way, guys, I just want to welcome each and every one of you who are here or who is here for your first time. Thank you so much for jumping in. Thank you for joining my kitchen. I really do appreciate your presence. Please do not forget to click on the red subscribe button. You are all welcomed to my kitchen. So you can see our kale is soft now, and I'm just going to drain it. This is all about the softening. As I've as well prepared the other ingredients, this is my crushed red peppers, the sweet peppers, and I have here my crushed tomatoes, my crushed onion. I literally crushed everything, guys. I was a bit lazy today. So I'm using olive oil for my cooking. I've warmed up my olive oil. You can use any oil of your choice, by the way. If you have good palm oil, is the best option. I'm using olive oil because I don't have the best palm oil. I'm going to be putting in my onion. My onion is in the pot right now. As I said, I did crush my onion, but you can chop up your onion if you want. I'm also going to be adding my spring onion now. I'll let both of these simmer on the fire for a few minutes before bringing in my tomatoes. So guys, you can see how this is in the pot. Our onion and spring onion. I think this is enough. We're just going to bring in our crushed fresh tomatoes. I'm using just fresh tomatoes for this recipe, guys. Just going to transfer the fresh tomatoes into the pot now. So I'm just going to let this be on the fire for a few minutes. We'll let our tomatoes be on the fire for some time. Actually, we don't want that sour taste, so we'll let it be on the fire until it is well cooked. But I don't want it like too dry. While it's on the fire, I'm going to get ready with my egusi preparation. Normally, I love to wash my egusi before blending, Yeah, so just rinse it, wash it properly under your sink, and then you can blend it. How many grams? This is up to about 600 grams of egusi, guys, because I had one pack of 500 grams and a little bit left in the other pack. So it's kind of, let me estimate, it's up to about 600 grams of egusi that I'm using. So I'm just going to like blend it and keep. So I'm checking out my tomatoes. It's been on the fire for quite some time now, and going to stir it and see how it is. I don't want it getting burnt underneath. I don't want it like to be on the fire for too long. I'll still leave it a bit more. I'll leave it for some time before I bring in my egusi. So let's check it out again. I think at this time, at this stage, it should be okay now to bring in our egusi. And I have some crushed sweet peppers that I'm also going to be using. So I'll first of all put in my crushed peppers. I'll let it simmer before we can bring in our egusi. These crushed peppers, guys, give like the best taste ever for your egusi soup. Like this is what I said. I updated about my egusi soup preparation. When I discovered these crushed peppers, like this is the best thing I've discovered. It tastes so good in your egusi soup. So add it in and then stir, let it simmer. Can now bring it gives a good, very good taste, and this the sweetness of it is just not explainable. So I'm going to let it simmer for a bit and then I can start bringing in the other ingredients. Alright guys, so this has been on the fire for a while and I believe it's time for us to start bringing in the other stuff. You can see how it looks. It already looks so juicy before the other ingredients are coming in. So we want our egusi soup sophisticated, we want it juicy, we want it tasty, we just don't want it that dry. As I said, this is egusi soup. I'm not going to be making it so dry. So I'm adding in my egusi. I've just finished blending it up and I'm adding it directly into the pot, directly from my blender. Transfer everything into your pot and then you can let this cook. When I was growing up, my grandmom used to tell us that when they put egusi in the pot, cover the pot, make sure you do not, nobody steps out of the kitchen, because if you step out of the kitchen, you're kind of like carrying the egusi soup out with you. It's just a myth, guys. I don't believe all those things, but I think that's what we believe when we were growing up. So whenever she put in egusi soup in the pot and covers the pot, we had to stay in the kitchen till it's cooked. Oh God. So I'm just going to let this cook. Lower your heat. You don't want your egusi getting burnt, so lower your heat properly and then cover your pot. Let this for quite some time on low heat because it's going to take a bit of time for it to cook nicely. I just remember that I haven't put in my garlic and ginger. I don't like putting it too late because it has a strong smell, a good flavor anyways, but I love to put it early, a bit early. So I'm just going to add it in here. It's not like our egusi is cooked. I'm just going to add it in here so it can cook alongside the egusi. So it's cooking nicely. The pot is still very good intact, not getting burnt. You can see that it's still not even started cooking. It's still so white in the at the center of it. So we have to cover our pot and let this cook. Let's check this out again and see how it's going. At least this has cooked. It's clotting up now. I'm happy with this at this stage. So we stir everything together. I really don't want the clot. If you really want it like in the lumps and the clot, you have to like prepare it in a microwave. You can kind of like put it in a bowl and cook it in the microwave for it to clot up before you use. But I'm not so bothered about the cloth. If it's there, good and fine. If it's not, good and fine. I'm using crayfish. Go ahead and crush your crayfish before using. I'm just not bothered about it. I'm not crushing my crayfish. I'm putting it directly. You can crush it up before you add it into your egusi soup. This also gives a very good flavor and a good taste. It adds the taste of your soup. So this is how it looks now. I'm going to transfer all the stock and the meat we've boiled earlier directly into the pot. As I said, I want this with some soup in it. I don't just want my egusi like too dry. If you want the dry one, you just don't have to put any stock. You have to boil your meat with no stock. But I want mine with a bit of soup in it. So I'm making a little bit of like soupy kind of egusi soup. So I want it with soup and a lot of juice in it. So you can see how this looks at this stage. I've just put in the meat, I've stirred, and I've noticed that the maggi cube is not enough. I'm adding 2 seasoning cubes again. The maggi cube I was depending on is the one I boiled my meat with. So the stock came with a lot of maggi already added in it. So I'm adding some aroma for extra flavor and taste. It's finished, guys. So that's just the last one in there. We'll let this be on the fire for some time for everything to come together nicely. You can see how this is cooking nicely, and this is exactly how I love my soup to be. This is how I like my soup to be. And the egusi as well. This is Cameroon Egusi, guys. It's kind of like the best option when you really want a little bit of cloth inside. Cameroon Egusi is the best option. So at this stage, I'm going to bring the vegetable that we made earlier, the kale vegetable. I'm just going to transfer everything into the pot and then stir. So our vegetable is in here. We have literally everything in this pot. It's just about letting it simmer, letting everything come together, and we can call it off a day. Our cooking is almost ready. Our food is almost ready. Our egusi soup is almost ready. You can have this soup, for those who love to swallow, they can have it with fufu. That's why it has some soup in there. You can have it like with something to chew, plantain, coherence. You can have it with corn fufu. You can have it anything of your choice. It just depends on what your taste bud goes with. So this is my egusi soup preparation, and believe you me, guys, this tastes so good. It's very sophisticated. It tastes really, really good. Very nutritive as well. Go ahead and try this recipe, and believe me, you will not regret it. Please, I want to encourage each and every one again. Please, if you're passing here, if this is your first time, if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, kindly consider clicking on that red subscribe button. I really do appreciate all of your love so far. Please support by subscribing, support by liking my videos, support by sharing, support in whatever way you want or you are able to support in. I really do appreciate all the love so far. Thank you guys for always watching. Thank you guys for always joining. I do appreciate. So this is the outcome of our egusi soup. This is the outcome. This is how it looks. This is our Cameroon egusi soup. Very delicious, and the aroma, the flavor is just not something I can explain, guys. Thanks for watching again, and I'm hoping to keep seeing you guys in my upcoming videos. Thank you.